Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Can I ask you to take your seats? Let's start. The session that was adjourned on the 9th of October 2025 is now reopened. The minutes and the texts adopted of the sitting of the 9th of October 2025 are available. Are there any comments? No, and therefore the minutes are approved. I have a number of announcements from my end. Following the appointments of Marie-Pierre Vedren to the French government, Parliament takes note of the vacancy of her seat from the 12th of October 2025 in accordance with the rules of procedure. The competent authorities of Czechia have notified me of the election of Antonín Stanek to the European Parliament, replacing Filip Turek with effect from the 4th of October 2025. And the competent authorities of France have notified me of the election of Jérémy Desserles to the European Parliament, replacing Marie-Pierre Vedren with effect from 12th of October 2025. I welcome the new colleagues, some of them were with us before, and recall that they take their seat in Parliament and its bodies in full enjoyment of their rights pending the verification of credentials. On the proposal of the Committee on Legal Affairs, Parliament verifies the credentials of Jaroslav Knot with effect from 31st of July 2025 and of Martin Gunther with effect from 16 September 2025. The S&D Group has notified me of a decision relating to changes to appointments within delegations. This decision will be set out in the minutes of today's sitting and take effect on the date of this announcement. The INTA-ITRE committees jointly and the URI committee have decided to enter interinstitutional negotiations pursuant to Rule 72, paragraph 1 of the Rules of Procedure. The reports which constitute the mandate for the negotiations are available on the plenary web page, and the titles will be published in the minutes of the sitting. Also pursuant to Rule 72, paragraph 2, members of political groups reaching at least the medium threshold may request in writing by tomorrow, Tuesday the 21st of October at midnight, that the decisions be put to the vote. If no request for a vote in Parliament is made within the deadline, the committees may start the negotiations. I was informed that no objections have been raised within the Conference of Committee Chairs to the recommendation by the Regi Committee not to oppose a delegated act pursuant to Rule 114, paragraph 6 of our rules. The recommendation is available on the plenary webpage. If no objections are raised by a political group or members reaching at least a low threshold within 24 hours, the recommendation shall be deemed to have been approved. The ITRE and LIBE committees have transmitted two corrigenda to texts adopted by the Parliament. Pursuant to Rule 251, these corrigenda will be deemed approved unless no later than 24 hours after their announcement a request is made by a political group or members reaching at least a low threshold that they be put to the vote. The corrigenda are available on the plenary webpage. Their titles will be published in the minutes of this sitting. I would like to inform you that together with the President of the Council, I shall on Wednesday sign two acts adopted under the ordinary legislative procedure in accordance with Rule 81 of our rules. The title of the acts will be published in the minutes of this sitting. Finally, I will inform you that the laureate of the Sakharov Prize for 2025 will be announced on Wednesday, so the day after tomorrow at noon, just before the formal sitting. So I warmly invite you to be present in the chamber for this very important announcement as well as for the formal sitting. Now we come to the order of business. We will first adopt the agenda and then take the points of order. The final draft agenda, as adopted by the Conference of Presidents on the 15th of October, pursuant to Rule 163, have been distributed. With the agreement of the political groups, I wish to put to the House the following proposals for changes to the final draft agenda. The following objections are added to Thursday's voting session. Two objections pursuant to Rule 1143 on specifying a methodology for assessing greenhouse gas emission savings from low-carbon fuels. These are the deadlines. For amendments tomorrow, Tuesday, 21 October at 1, split and separate, also tomorrow at 7 p.m. If there are no objections, these changes are approved, and we will now move to changes requested by the political groups. For Tuesday, that means tomorrow, the S&D Group has requested that Council and Commission statements on criminal intimidation against investigative journalists in the EU, the attempted attack to Sigfrido Ranucci, be added on Tuesday afternoon after the debate on the Commission Work Programme 2026. As a consequence, the sitting would be extended to 11 p.m. So I give the floor to Mr. Sandro Ruotolo to move the request on behalf of the S&D Group. Devi accendere il microfono.
Acceso, okay. Sì. Grazie Presidente. Colleghe e colleghi, la situazione in Italia sta diventando sempre più pesante. Siamo ormai 29 giornalisti che per il loro lavoro sono costretti a vivere sotto protezione dello Stato perché minacciati di morte dalla criminalità organizzata. L'attentato a Sigfrido Ranucci, giornalista e conduttore di Report, la trasmissione di approfondimento giornalistico della RAI è un fatto gravissimo che riporta l'Italia indietro nel tempo, quando mafia e terrorismo ammazzavano i giornalisti. Nella notte del 16 ottobre a Roma una bomba è esplosa davanti a casa sua, 2 auto distrutte, una scena di guerra, poteva esserci il morto. 16 ottobre. 8 anni fa, il 16 ottobre, a Malta una giornalista d'inchiesta come Sigfrido Ranucci veniva uccisa con un'autobomba, era Daphne Caruana Galizia. C'è modo e modo per zittire un giornalista, con l'intimidazione, l'omicidio, la delegittimazione, le querele temerarie, lo spionaggio illegale. E colpire un giornalista significa colpire la democrazia. Ha ragione il commissario McGrath. La libertà di stampa non è negoziabile in Europa, ma non bastano le parole. Le do solo il titolo di questo dibattito su proposta dei socialisti e democratici. Le intimidazioni criminali contro i giornalisti d'inchiesta nell'Unione Europea, l'attentato a Sigfrido Ranucci. Mi auguro che ci sia il consenso di tutti.
Sì, grazie onorevole Rotolo. Now I have also received a proposal from the left group that the title would read like this: Council and Commission statements on failed attack on Ranucci and increasing intimidation of investigative journalists. This would be at the same time. First, I'm going to give the floor to any member who would like to speak against having this debate. Okay, no request, so we put the request of the S&D Group to a vote by roll call. Vote is closed. Unanimity. Okay, congratulations. We will have the debate. For Tuesday, the ECR Group has requested that a Commission statement on burglary in the Louvre Museum, importance of protecting the European cultural heritage from theft and destruction. This would be added in the evening after the debate on the general budget. So, as a consequence, the sitting would be extended to 11. I give the floor first to Mr. Bert-Jan Rausen to move the request on behalf of the ECR.
Voorzitter, inderdaad een verzoek van de ECR-fractie op initiatief van de Franse collega's en onze fractie. Maandagochtend werd er ingebroken in het Louvre. Onschatbare Franse nationale schatten werden gestolen na een reeks storingen en twijfelachtige beslissingen die de veiligheid van het museum in gevaar brachten. Het is niet de eerste keer, voorzitter, dat er in Europese musea wordt ingebroken. Ook Nederland werd in januari geconfronteerd met een dergelijke diefstal in het Drentse Museum in Assen, waarbij meesterwerken uit de Roemeense geschiedenis werden gestolen. We zien ook regelmatig historische gebouwen of kerken die aan verval worden overgelaten of doelwit worden van vernielingen. Daarom wil de ECR-fractie een extra debat voorstellen met als titel Inbraak in het Louvre, het belang van de bescherming van het Europees cultureel erfgoed tegen diefstal en vernietiging. Dank u wel, voorzitter.
Thank you very much. Is there any colleague who would like to speak against? No? Okay, so we put the request of the ECR group to a vote by roll call. Vote is open. Vote is closed. And it is rejected, so the agenda stays the same. Now for Wednesday, the Renew Group has requested that Council and Commission statements on the need for a united support to Ukraine and for a just and durable peace concluded on Ukraine's terms, with Europeans and without surrendering to Vladimir Putin's conditions ahead of the foreseen Budapest summit, be added as a third point in the afternoon after the presentation of the Court of Auditors annual report. As a consequence, the sitting would be extended to 11, so I give the floor to Ms. Nathalie Loiseau to move the request.
Merci Madame la Présidente. Nous avons appris il y a quelques jours que le président Poutine avait appelé le président Trump et que le président Trump avait trouvé que c'était une très bonne conversation. Nous avons appris ensuite que le président Trump avait reçu le président Zelensky et qu'il avait refusé de lui livrer des missiles Tomahawk et que ça s'était en réalité très mal passé. Et nous apprenons maintenant que le président Trump veut rencontrer le président Poutine à Budapest. En vue de ces derniers développements, je souhaite en effet demander l'ajout du débat suivant mercredi en troisième position sans résolution. Déclaration du Conseil et de la Commission, la nécessité d'un soutien uni à l'Ukraine et d'une paix juste et durable décidée par l'Ukraine avec les Européens et sans plier face aux conditions de Vladimir Poutine en amont de ce qui s'appellerait le sommet annoncé à Budapest. Je vous remercie.
Merci Madame Loiseau. Does any colleague want to speak against? No? All right. So we put the request to a vote by roll call. Vote is open. Vote is closed. Adopted. Now, that means the agenda is changed. The agenda then is adopted and the order of business is thus established. We will take the points of order now in the order we have received them. So first I give the floor to Ms. Fabienne Keller. You need to press the button, Fabienne.
Madame la Présidente, je me réfère à l'article 202 du règlement intérieur sur les points d'ordre. Il y a 5 ans, le professeur Samuel Paty était assassiné pour avoir enseigné la liberté d'expression. Il y a 2 ans, c'est le professeur Dominique Bernard qui a été tué à son tour, victime du terrorisme. Ces 2 enseignants incarnent ce que l'Europe défend. Leur mémoire nous oblige. Dans un contexte où les discours de haine et l'obscurantisme progressent, il nous revient de protéger l'école, de protéger la liberté d'expression et la tolérance, piliers de notre modèle européen. C'est pour cela, Madame la Présidente, que je souhaite et propose que cette Assemblée leur rende hommage et réaffirme solennellement son attachement aux valeurs communes qui forgent notre Union. Je vous remercie.
Merci absolument, Madame Keller. Adesso do la parola all'onorevole Alessandra Moretti.
Grazie Presidente. Lo scorso settembre 2 avvocatesse italiane hanno chiesto all'Alto Commissario per i diritti umani delle Nazioni Unite di aprire un'inchiesta formale, ancora oggi priva di risposta, sulla situazione dell'attivista curda Bakshan Azizi, arrestata in Iran nel 2023 e condannata a morte nel 2024 per aver fornito aiuti umanitari a donne e bambini in fuga dagli attacchi dello Stato islamico. L'ONU ha dichiarato che nel 2025, in soli 9 mesi, più di 1000 persone sono state giustiziate in Iran. Si tratta di condanne perpetrate in seguito a processi a porte chiuse, iniqui, in un contesto di pratiche di tortura e confessioni estorte con la forza. L'Unione Europea dovrà supportare il reclamo presentato all'ONU a sostegno di Bakshan Azizi e fare pressione affinché questo riceva riscontro nel minor tempo possibile. Facciamoci portatori di un'azione diplomatica concreta e coordinata per fermare l'ondata di esecuzioni in atto. Grazie.
Grazie. I give the floor now to Ms. Asita Kanko.
As a staunch defender of democratic principles and the rule of law, I am profoundly appalled by the incarceration of former French President Nicolas Sarkozy. This decision strikes at the heart of our shared European values, transforming a man who boldly led France through economic turmoil and global crisis into a symbol of judicial overreach. Sarkozy's conviction, rooted in allegations long contested and in procedural ambiguities, risks of selective prosecution, a dangerous precedent that undermines the presumption of innocence and erodes public trust in institutions. Of course, no one is above the law, even not a former president, but no one deserves to be denied their fundamental legal rights either. As members of parliament, it's our duty to question a system in which the rule of law appears to be eroding. As member of parliament, I therefore call on the French authorities, the European Parliament and fellow MEPs to demand a thorough review of the rule of law in France. It's our responsibility. May justice serve the people, not settle scores. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ms. Aubry, you want to comment on this quickly?
Oui, Madame la Présidente, juste pour dire que ce plaidoyer très touchant en faveur d'un ancien président de la République qui a été condamné pour des faits extrêmement graves n'a pas sa place dans l'hémicycle, que personne n'est au-dessus de la loi, même pas un ancien président de la République, a fortiori quand il a été condamné pour des faits extrêmement graves de corruption. Et si vous voulez donner des leçons sur l'état de droit, allez voir ce que fait Viktor Orban en Hongrie, allez voir ce que font tous vos alliés de l'extrême droite partout en Europe. L'état de droit est un et indivisible.
Okay.
Et nous ne laisserons personne le piétiner.
Okay. So I give the floor now to Mr. Fabio De Masi.
Vielen Dank, Frau Präsidentin. Ich beziehe mich auf Artikel 167 der Geschäftsordnung. Der deutsche Generalbundesanwalt ermittelt derzeit zu einer mutmaßlich staatsterroristischen Anschlag auf die deutsche Energieinfrastruktur auf Nord Stream. Und wir mögen unterschiedliche Auffassungen in diesem Haus haben zur Notwendigkeit, auch Gas aus Russland zu beziehen. Ich bin persönlich der Auffassung, dass wir uns nicht alleine von Donald Trump und teurem US-Fracking-Gas abhängig machen sollten. Wenn aber ein polnisches Gericht einen europäischen Haftbefehl nicht umsetzt und der polnische Ministerpräsident erklärt, dass das eigentliche Verbrechen nicht die Sprengung von Nord Stream sei und ein Terrorist nicht ausgeliefert wird, sondern der Bau von Nord Stream, dann gehen wir an die Fundamente der europäischen Zusammenarbeit. Und ich finde, dies ist etwas, wozu eine deutsche EU-Kommissionspräsidentin, ein deutscher Bundeskanzler und auch das Europäische Parlament nicht schweigen darf. Deswegen sollten wir dringend über diesen Skandal diskutieren. Vielen Dank.
Thank you. I give the floor now to Mr. Sieper.
Thank you, Mr. President. According to Rule 124, number 2, read together with Rule 174, number 3 of the Rules of Procedure, the proceedings of this Parliament must be public and available in all official languages of the European Union. Yet, today, the live stream of our debates offers neither sign language nor subtitles. That means millions of deaf and hard of hearing Europeans are effectively excluded from following the democratic process that belongs to them. The purpose of those rules is clear: to allow every European citizen to follow our debates as they happen, not by scrolling through transcripts after the fact, but seeing, hearing and feeling their representatives at work. Our democracy lives from understanding, from the connection between words, expression and gesture. Therefore, I ask the President and the Bureau, under Rule 174, number 3, second subparagraph, to instruct DG COM to ensure that our live streams include either sign language or interpretation and real-time subtitles. To the people that are deaf, we see you. Thank you.
Thank you. We can address your request bilaterally as well to tell you what we are doing. Vice President Picerno will be the last point of order.
Presidente, io intervengo per rendere omaggio in quest'Aula al coraggio, alla visione, alla determinazione di una grande europeista, inventrice e madre del programma Erasmus. Sto parlando della professoressa Sofia Corradi, che è scomparsa appena qualche giorno fa. Con la sua determinazione ha reso possibile uno dei programmi più belli, più concreti dell'integrazione europea e ha offerto così a milioni di ragazze e di ragazzi la possibilità di conoscersi, di studiare e di crescere insieme oltre ogni confine. L'Erasmus, lo sappiamo, non è soltanto uno dei programmi più riusciti della nostra Unione Europea, ma è un'idea di Europa viva, solidale e aperta. E allora io credo che l'eredità e la memoria della professoressa Corradi continueranno a unire l'Europa e a far crescere milioni di giovani europei consapevoli di essere parte indispensabile e importante di una storia unica. Grazie professoressa Corradi.
Grazie. Thank you very much. Have a good afternoon. We'll go straight to the debates.